Good afternoon, everybody. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is the City of Laredo Utilities Advisory Committee meeting. It's Thursday, January 15th. It is 12:05 p.m. We're here in the City of Laredo Utilities Department. Item number, I guess it would be item number 2, roll call. I'll go ahead and do roll call. Carlos Blanco.
Here.
Jose Luis Tijerina.
Here.
Rick Solis.
Here.
Manfredo Salinas.
Here.
Gene Lindgren.
Here.
Edward Ochoa, myself here. Michael Yoder.
Here.
And Luis Ramirez.
Present.
And we do have a full quorum. We still have District 1 vacant, but everybody else is here. Thank you for that. Moving on to item number 3, minutes. Approval of the minutes of November 13th. We've got them attached there for everybody to look at. And whenever anybody's ready, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
One right here. I'll
Oh,
second.
you did?
Make a motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Blanco, second by Mr. Yoder. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number, I guess here it's listed as item number 7, action item. We'll go ahead and start off with the airport sewer odor discussion. And I'll pass it to Dr. T.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the first one is on the sewer order discussion. This is a sewer line that is old. We have been trying to repair that line, but apparently it's under a certain highway. I can't remember the name of that highway, but we cannot actually fix the line. So what we're looking for is now to inject, what do you call that, a sleeve to line the whole thing from within, and there is a bid that is out right now. So we already received 2 bidders. It closes today. I was talking to our superintendent from the Tony Amora there, and we should receive a 3rd one today. Again, this line will be decommissioned in the next 2 years, I guess, but to deal with this other thing, because it's at the airport, it just hits you when you get there. Welcome to Laredo. We want to make sure we get this issue resolved.
It's in the middle of the road?
It's under some highway there, as
Route 20?
Yes.
Yeah, so for the FedEx around there?
Correct. And we want to get to deal with it, although it will be decommissioned in a year or 2, but we want to address this issue, so that sleeve technology will be used, and we're just waiting to close that today, and hopefully we'll address that as soon as possible. On the fire hydrant purge, I think that was related to previous concern from one of the advisory committee members around when they purge or they flush, the way this pressure goes out and some of the issues, but we did look into it again. Flushing is part of our TCQ process to ensure that the system is fully clean and has the right chlorine concentration. So just want to address that because that was raised in the last council meeting. We did not have for quorum, so I just kept it here. So with that, the 3rd one is the initiative to conserve water. This was an item that was brought by Dr. King and so Dr. Yoder as well. Just to let you know, Dr. King brought this before the new year, like in September, probably August, September last year. And the idea is having those plants that are water saving plants rather than grass and landscaping and mow and all of that. We were given that task under what we call water conservation. We did communicate with Dr. King after that, like shortly after that, and we said, I was in you, and I said, we need more time to this, like we have way more burning issues, the pipelines, the staffing, the change, and we pushed this to March of 26. So it is on to-do list. But I want to give the floor to Sylvia to give us an update on the progress on that initiative, and maybe just give them some background of exactly what are we trying to achieve here.
Mainly what we're trying to achieve right now is water conservation with the xeriscaping to get plants, trees that we can use minimal water. So I am in contact with the San Antonio Water System. They're gonna feed me more information, let me know what their process is, what would work for them. So I am planning a trip to visit them to get more information on that, because I know there's gonna be issues with the HOA and stuff. So just to get their feedback on how they're gonna on how they're doing it and how they're managing it as well, so we can get our ideas.
We've been changing the trees to myrtle crepes. It's only about a year that you need to take care of them, and after that,
Correct.
they stay and don't need irrigation and stuff like that. So we've been also dealing with engineering, just finding ways where we don't waste irrigation, because that's the biggest problem, that irrigation's killing our streets.
Yes.
It's a waste, I mean, that is the biggest issue, is
Exactly.
irrigation.
And not only that, I've heard, and maybe you can confirm with a more definitive percentage, but I've heard that 60% of our water is for irrigation. Is that jive with what?
I can't honestly, good question, I don't know the answer, but I can't verify.
I know, 'cause not everybody
But
has a
it's-
separate
but it's-
meter.
But it is, yeah, it
I mean,
is,
if that's
Well,
true.
the problem is that they're not taking care of the heads.
yes.
So you're seeing a bunch of water being thrown
Right,
away.
right.
I mean, you go to a place where it's this small and it's water.
No, I get it, I get it.
I mean, that's.
Everybody has grass and some of us
Correct.
water or grass.
I kept saying that there should be a limit to who could get irrigation. All the new houses are getting irrigation, they don't need an irrigation plan. I think they should go by size, where it's like, okay, these guys cannot water a small little, 200 square feet in front of their house, and they're gonna get an irrigation system. I think they should be more strict on
Yes.
that, due to that, because we built streets, and then something tears up, the water go underneath, and you see that the streets go into hell due to the irrigation.
And that's an issue we're trying to address with the building code as well, because it's a code and planning process. I just want to add to what Sylvia mentioned. One of the things that would be nice if you had any connection or relationship is for this initiative to succeed, we need a partner, local nursery that can distribute these, what do they call them, zero plants or? Zero scapes, and we are looking, like the San Antonio was partnered with a nursery that, as a citizen, you can go there and say, can I have a plant? And then we're probably looking on investing $25,000 to.
Well, the problem there, when I built my house,
Yeah.
I did xeriscaping,
Okay.
but the city still doesn't have it under the radar to allow that, because they still want you to put 2 trees. They still have, they didn't want to accept it. I had to go
Okay.
and get it approved. I'm like, we're doing this because we're conserving. So
Interesting.
all my front house, the backyard is grass and all that, but at least my front house has rocks, has cactus and
Is
stuff
this
like
the
that.
city or the homeowner
The city,
association?
no, the city.
The city?
Because the acceptance of the house, they have certain, they want a certain amount of grass, stuff like that, but you could go with the state says, oh, you could do that, we override the city. But I'm just saying, you need to get them also, and also some sort of like, hey, if we do xeriscaping, can we get some sort of, not money back, but some sort of help out?
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
My only comment would be also that, it's great that we're doing this, I think it's necessary. Just that you all coordinate with Parks or whoever is I think it's Parks that review the plans as we, architects, engineers, and designers, as we're designing our projects. Ultimately, we get that feedback like, well, you can't use that tree, you can't do this, you need 2 trees here. So I think there needs to be some coordination and cooperation between the departments so that they recognize what you guys are trying to do.
Well,
Because
also, you see Lomas de Sur, it's all rock and agave, right? We have to fight for that. You understand? It's not that easy. The city needs to be on
Yeah.
on the same thing, that, hey, this is what we're trying to do. And also when I'm getting landscaping, we're trying to do xeriscaping, like we're trying to change the crepe myrtles. You read up on it in the beginning, you just take care of them. After a while, you don't need irrigation. They'll take care of themselves.
One of I think, the homeowners association has a lot to do with this, because if they're asking you to keep your grass green, people have to water.
See, but I still had to get accepted by the city for the xeriscaping I had.
Correct.
So even it's after the fact you have the HOA, but just in the beginning, to do xeriscaping on a new house, I had to fight to get that.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
there's 2 steps. There's the existing, and then once they're gonna start building, if homeowners can start doing xeriscaping, give a better price to their, which is not, because it's money.
Sylvia, have you ever sat with building and fire and like talk to them and say, hey, so what are you requiring from these
No, sir, I haven't.
You should try that. I mean, you know what?
That's the biggest, it's.
I think there's a big breakdown between a lot of the
Yeah.
departments,
That's what I'm saying.
you know?
And I'm talking about 2 years ago, because I just built my house, so it's
Yeah,
not
no,
like
I think that's, again, we don't wanna do something, left is not talking to the right, you do this and next day, when the other part is not approving,
Yeah.
that's another.
That's what I'm saying, we have the good idea here, but we gotta start from the
And
beginning.
for the record, the north uses way much more water.
Mr.
Way more.
Mucho would know.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. How about those weeping water hoses, the ones that have pinholes on them to water your grass and stuff like that? I'm sure y'all know those, right?
Bubblers,
Come on.
bubblers.
Rubbers.
Yeah, I have that in my other house, but with a timer. So
Right.
it's spread out, you know, it
It seeps.
but
Yeah.
it only turns on at certain times, it's
Exactly.
not,
Do those conserve water?
yeah.
And can they keep your lawns green?
No, I just use it for the plants, I don't.
I mean, you know what, we also gotta remember, we're in 110-degree weather, like,
Well, yeah,
that
but-
sun is brutal.
Yes, but you don't water during the day. That's another problem. I water like first thing in the morning when I wake up at 4 or real late because it's still hot at 3
Yeah,
o'clock.
but that's you, but I
No,
see
but
people
I-
that turn them on, I've seen them like at 3 in the afternoon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about conservation. We're talking about conservation.
Right.
That is one of the big things. I mean, when we had no water, you see all the sheriffs and cops. You still see the irrigation running. They're not even supporting what we're telling them to do. So everybody's just doesn't understand how important it is.
Agreed.
No, they just don't know. It's like, oh, we put it on Facebook. Well, that's great. I mean, a lot of people don't have time to be looking at what ideas you have, you know? The thing is that we have a bunch of kids in school that we need to educate so they can go home with their dad and mom and be like, Mom, Dad, look, this is what they taught us, the city taught us about conservation. Can we do this? Because it's an extra bonus points if we follow this and this and this. That's the way we get to the parents. The parents are too busy. It's like, oh, we put on social media, we send emails, we put dude, I don't got time for that. But we educate the kids and give them points and volunteer hours to educate their neighborhood. Then, my kid came up to me, he's like, Dad, this is a project of conservation. And if I do this and this and this, if we do this at the house, okay, son, let's work that out. I mean, hopefully they have a good relationship, but I'm saying that's,
Unfortunately, I think what happens, like, the ideas are great, it's just, it comes down to manpower. You
Well,
don't have
that's what
enough
I'm
people to enforce all this.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Education is key. You can have all the manpower in the world too. But education, if we don't have the money and the manpower, well, we gotta educate it. And I've always said, it's like the kids are out there, they're the ones learning, teach them, so they could go home and teach their parents, this is what we learned in school, it's a new project. I'm gonna give how many volunteer hours? I never did volunteer hours when I was in high school. Now they're asking for ridiculous hours for these kids, to volunteer. I volunteered because I wanted to. I didn't have to volunteer for my grade.
So maybe one of the parts of the initiative that we could look into is like a public service announcement.
Yes.
So, once the initiative, once we and you guys and everybody settles on an initiative approach, Zeroscape, et cetera, let's not forget the opportunities that we have for public service announcements. So like PSA commercials, we've talked about that at other meetings before, doing a PSA on the TV, doing a PSA maybe on the radio, social media, of course, but I think, Lou brings up a great point. Maybe one of the initiatives we should consider is, career days. There's always opportunities to speak at career days or make school presentations. I think that's a good idea, Lou.
I mean, I listen to radio. Once a commercial goes on, I change it. The TV, once the show's done, I go get some food. Like that media is already out the door. Social media is big, but I think we should do like I'm saying from the ground, educate the kids. Go and have classes with them and go ahead. I'm just sure
Talking about education, there's así están las cosas por el barrio with Mr. Amante, who a lot of people follow. That's something that could probably be worked in there to go and speak with the media and so the community can know that, well, I'm not gonna say we have a water crisis, but I said we should.
No, we do have a water crisis.
Oh, we do?
No, we don't have a secondary water source.
Okay, so we are at the level of having a water crisis?
I
Thank
think
you.
we have a water crisis. If something would happen, and we always talked about, if something would happen in North Laredo or one of our spills happen on the river, we're screwed. So we do have a water crisis. We're looking for the secondary water source to have backup, you know, so we do have a crisis. The thing is that we get comfortable saying, and people are like, no, like the car washing, it should be still Monday or Tuesday. We shouldn't take it out. We should conserve.
Well, then, if that's the case.
No, I'm just saying, but that's my opinion.
No. If we have a water crisis, then if that's the case, then the hammer effect should be used, which means we have to hammer it into the community, you know, we need to conserve water. You know, it's no ifs, ands, or buts, we need to conserve water, because as you mentioned, we do not have a secondary water source. And once the water, table runs low and we don't have any water, then, you know, we don't wanna be on that, como se dice, fork on the road where we have to choose shutting down water, using a lot less water, or not having any water at all.
Can I guess, oh,
But like I'm saying, the speeches, all that are great, you know, but the thing is to do project with these young kids, you know, the young kids are 10, 12, 13, hey, you know, you need volunteer hours, we need something to conserve, do this and this and that, to educate, so they can go around and tell all their, you know, like, that has to be walked, you know, it has to be roots ground, not talking. I mean, I've gone to so many places where they tell you how to become a better person, and you leave the whole talk and you're still the same person. You know, there has to be stuff needs to be done, and the way to educate is our young
Solid Waste has a coordinator that does just that for the recycling part.
Yeah.
She goes from school to school, educates, and then they take the Willie and the Billy Boy.
No, see, that's what I'm saying, that's amazing.
They dance
But we
around.
gotta set projects up for these kids where they could make grades, or again, they could get hours, volunteer hours, where there's stuff they have to do, not just to sit down and this plastic goes here, and then, no. We need to do some sort of action, because these kids are asked for a lot of volunteer hours. They always ask, go ahead. I can
So-
talk about the same thing.
So, maybe another idea would be, obviously, Keep Laredo Beautiful too also has some initiatives that they do, right, public wise, so maybe we can loop in Keep Laredo Beautiful, or no? Yes?
Well, that's what I'm saying. All we're doing is educating, but I think we need to get these kids to start doing projects and programs where it's part of the schools. So they go home, it's like, Mom, this month, we're gonna conserve doing this. This is what they taught us, and we do this, you know, so they start doing action, not just listening.
Sounds like you're wanting to take the lead on that, Lou.
No. Because I mean, I've been to so many things where you sit there and listen and you understand, but you walk out the door and you don't do it.
Yeah.
But it,
I mean,
for the record, it did help. So you can only imagine when they would pick up recycling that people were using both trash cans as trash cans.
Oh, yeah.
And
See, but that's what I'm saying. Imagine they go home, Mom, I have to take pictures, make
that's
sure.
correct.
Yeah.
So they started the educational part, and the coordinator would go to the schools. She'd have different appointments or whatever it was. But the kids would start saying, no, that goes in the blue bin, that goes. And so slowly, and I'm not saying it was like 100%,
We're not expecting.
but there was definitely a significant change.
Even I question myself sometimes. I have to read the label because I'm like, my chick's like, no, it's over here. I'm like, but it's not. I mean, I still have to, those labels do help, man.
so I guess kind of in summary, if I can kind of summarize it for you, Cian, there's a lot of great ideas that we presented, but I guess the first part would be the initiative of the zero-scaping, right? I think
Yes.
that's kind of the main thing we
What
want to
can
do.
we do?
But once we hit up the initiative of the zero-scaping, then let's consider some of these, may call them phase 2, phase 3 initiatives that will help educate the citizens on, you know, whatever we come up with on the zero-scaping, whether it's the plants, how to install them, the rocks, the different options and so
Yes.
on, so.
Yeah,
I think that's a good
it
idea.
plays a big part because it's the nurseries, the landscaping and stuff, but then again, we don't have partners that available to help us
Yeah, that's the
start the
problem.
process, so that's why I'm going to get information more from SAW, so that way how they initiated their
Sure.
program, so that way we can try to.
Yeah, I think
work
that's a
here.
great idea. SAWS, you know, I'm aware that SAWS has been at it for quite some time. I wanna say maybe a few years ago, we might have been presented something too about that here at our
And on their
committee.
website, they do have, incentives for residents that wanna participate in it, so
Mhm.
it's a lot of information, so that's why, I guess, like, speaking to a person, explaining the process and stuff, it'll be better than just reading the whole 10 pages on their website.
And we're still doing the toilet incentive or no?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, incentivizing zero-scapes for those that have existing systems, right? I mean,
Yes.
there's two parts of implementing that, in my opinion. You're implementing it on the new homes, like Lou was saying, and then implementing it too on the existing homes, which, of course, we have more existing homes than new homes, right? So, that's kind of a two-part approach that we would have to confirm with SAWS or not confirm really, but how did they approach it? You know?
Mhm.
I've seen also another incentive offered for swapping out your irrigation controller to like a newer Wi-Fi connect one that connects to everything. It prompts you if something's broken or like there's, I know some cities have that type of incentive also where you can get a little bit of money to swap out your old irrigation controller, so. I guess that might be something to talk to SAWS about as well.
Okay.
And if you're interested, I can pass you some contact information for a company that does specialize in cactuses, and maybe
That would be
maybe
awesome.
it's broader to include other.
I think that would be, we need a partner.
Yeah, I'll pass that information to you.
Appreciate that, Jim, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on the water conservation for the staff? Comments?
Well, do we have feedback on the monthly statements for the taxpayer here in Laredo? So maybe they can share their ideas. I mean, I don't know that how many percentage of people in Laredo still have hard copy statements, but regardless, perhaps they would like to share their opinions on how we conserve water. Maybe they would like to get in the action. And I also want to add, it looks healthy for our community when we have the committee all with having this open discussion in regards to water conservation. I think it's healthy for the board and it's healthy for the community, because it's something we need to address
Okay.
and seriously look into it.
So does the city of Laredo, I've seen it, we still get paper copies of our water bill.
Yes.
There are parts of the paper copy that, and maybe even the online copy too, you might see
So when
it.
you sign up to
Is
get
there-
a meter, you're supposed to put one email, like, but you can still do that.
Yeah, so I just switched recently to get paperless also.
You get paperless
So
also?
I'm gonna get a paperless.
Yeah, that's the goal, to go paper.
So, but
Yeah.
maybe, does the paperless also have, I mean, it could be a PDF, right, when
It's
you're
a
looking at
PDF.
it.
PDF, let me
So,
know.
does the city have where they put, I guess, announcements on the bottom?
Yeah,
Would that
I
be-
mean, yeah, because even when I don't know if you guys.
I don't pay my water bill, my wife does.
When
I
you
don't
shop
see
at
it.
Walmart, they give you 5 stars to punch to see, how you feel about shopping at Walmart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they give you like 5 stars, so you click on the star when you're happy, I click on, for the last, I guess, 2-3 years, I've been clicking halfway, and why? When before, I used to click 5, now I click 3 because everything's so expensive. So anyway,
I mean, that might be an idea, if there's a way, once, we get some feedback from the community.
I remember one time
Something to consider.
I think it was last year, brought up last year that on the irrigation, all the breaks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to say, maybe we could do some sort of contest where they call 311 and said, hey, in this section, we saw irrigation flowing water.
Yes.
So you collect all the names, and at the end, we do a giveaway. All they have to do is they're driving around, they see some sort of irrigation out of the way, wasting water, call, put their name, you get them on the list at the end of the month. They want pizza, nothing big, but the whole
We
information.
actually we were thinking in a different way, we call crowdsourcing, instead of us waiting another 24 hours to get a call about a water line break. Is people call, like we issue a number, but I don't wanna start this process before we know you have a human being on the other side
Yeah.
receiving the call, because 311 now is doing most of that work, but I think that would be awesome, so we don't have to wait on things to go too long there, but good idea there as well. Again, remember, gentlemen, we have also, the city has 2 systems first we have rates so if you exceed certain volumes, you go to the next billing rate, which is higher, so we hope that's kind of deterrence when people consume too much water beyond a normal volume. And also we have, during summer drought, we have a summer drought surcharge fees in case there is a level 2 or level 3 restriction those kicks in, and therefore people, we do communicate that, you know, during especially summer months, that people should be conscious of that, and that also has its own implication.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for all the great comments and your staff for taking that down. If that's all we have, I don't believe we need any action on those items, right? I guess those are just really items for
We're
discussion.
moving forward, we'll
Okay.
provide updates when they are, as I said, we're looking for a future partner there.
Okay. So if no other comments on item number 7, I'll move on to item number 8, communication and announcements. Zacate wastewater treatment plant. Dr.
So
King.
we have our engineering firm who has been doing a lot of assessment around the retention wall that protects the Zacate wastewater treatment plant. We should be able, as I said, late December, early January. Actually, I'm having a meeting with the engineering firm this next week or two to get their advice on how we proceed. There is 2 options. One is we continue with the idea that the wall will be at the Zacate Creek, protecting the whole integrity of the plant, which I think that's what we're trying to keep, because we can also keep the facilities. But if there is issues with the formation or the stabilization of the floor of the creek, we might go back to that old option of having something on the plant, but that would cause us to lose one of the storage tanks. So, but this is being moving forward. It's fully funded, as approved by the council. We're on track. This was an issue that was raised by TCEQ last year, and we have been in compliance now because of the investment. This project, we're looking at around $10 million right now, just to stabilize that wastewater treatment plant. So just to give you an update on that.
The previous bid that came out for that work, was that ever done, or that just got changed? Because I know I saw it on
Yes, that was the original one. That was
Okay.
where the wall was on site.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, you have to basically sacrifice that thing, and we're trying to keep both of them, and we were worried that you're still gonna have eventually this. So we're trying to see some creativity there in the engineering part, and I haven't seen honestly yet the design yet, but I should let you know in the next advisory meeting where we are on that piece. But things are on track and on schedule.
Okay.
I have a few things extra if you want updates, but we'll just.
Yeah, any other comments on or updates on the treatment plant from anybody?
No, sir.
Okay. Moving on, any other communication or announcements? I'll open it to Dr. T first, and then we'll open it to us.
So the pipe bursting projects, we have finished the first full complement of 14,000 square feet across the city, all districts.
Finger feet.
I think we gave those guys extra 3,000 feet just to go through the end of the year, new year. They're on it now, they're finalizing their work. They're very fast, they're getting things done, though we still get some complaints from, you know, customers about some disruption, you know, when you cut a line and then you create something. So we're trying to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So hopefully this project will come to an end, first batch. Next batch will be posted probably mid-February, early March, depending on the next council meeting. So we will push another 14,000 of square feet of lines across the city, all districts, for pipe bursting. I think it was very successful experience. We were very happy that this is a very, you know, economic way. We don't have to create a lot of destruction and, you know, invasive breaking. We will open this for everyone. We're not extending this for everyone, and we're also looking not just for pipe bursting, we're also looking for innovation. Is there any other way we can do this? Is it like horizontal drilling versus this or that? So we want to see what's the best option, and this should come to the next council meeting. I think we have one on the February 2nd. The January 20th is this one. Yeah, we're still trying to put the proposal together, but it's probably either gonna be February 2nd or February 17th, which are the 2 next council meetings. And then we'll go forward with the next, and we already budgeted for that project as well. So that's moving forward very well.
Okay.
On the asphalt now, again, we have a lot of patches everywhere in the city. It's been an eyesore, I guess, for a lot of that. We have been tendering this one. and I'm just trying to make sure it's with Councilor Ronhell. For Mr. Tiniero, I think this is coming into next council item. He wants to know.
Yeah,
what
I have a couple of questions that
Yes,
you wanted me to
yes.
ask, so.
Yes, but I just want to let you know that this is coming to next council item on Tuesday, and I will also provide a briefing around where we are on the issues related to those patches. What we have normally, if you know how this works, we have cold asphalt. So it's like really cold, you just go pack it and all of that. It's not great, it subsides with time. But the right way to do it is you compact and you have to have a hot asphalt
mix.
basically and all of that. We've been struggling to keep up with that. We don't have many local companies who do that. And frankly, it's everywhere. Like we have 2-3 cuts every day. But the good news, we just had yesterday, the bid closed and we have 3 bidders. I think we will go with retain the lowest bid under the procurement process. So now we have 2 on standby to start working more and address this the right way. So I just want to give an update for you to know where things are on that piece. Questions?
He was asking me, the other thing he wanted to know was, were you all gonna, are you still planning on hiring an engineer in-house, or were you all gonna lean on,
External, both.
like, the city engineering?
So both. What we have is, we have 3 senior engineer positions that are vacant since I joined. So it's very, very hard to attract engineers with a PE designation. So now we're actually retaining, we're open for business, we said that. And we are actually, the city is actually gave me the authorization to retain an HR firm, a headhunter, to retain senior engineers, so we can get them from anywhere across the nation. And so that's good news. So hopefully we'll get someone who's interested to stay, come to Laredo and live here. So we're not just looking into our websites, we're going across the US. Number 2, we're actually also retaining an engineering firm to help us with the day-to-day project like we have. We have tons of these engineering projects, all and contracts, so we can just keep up. We do not have now any engineer with a PE in the department. So we do rely on our engineering colleagues in the engineering department, but we have a lot of work right now. We don't have any engineers with a PE, so we're trying to do both, like get people to bring them on board, plus having an engineering firm who will help us with some of the work in the interim to get things moving forward.
Okay.
Any questions? Okay.
So I have questions, but it's not in regard to the Zacate wastewater treatment plant. I'm following up on something that I brought up some months back, and I'm talking, it's in regard to the foul odor or the gray water odor that's at the corner side of Rosa and Flores and Convent and Lincoln. It's a sewer odor, and I was wondering if there have been any studies as to why.
Is that downtown?
Yeah, downtown.
Yeah, that's where the drainage pipe, the sewer pipe, there's some areas that's so old, they connect it to the drainage pipe. So it's dumping into the drainage, that's where you get that smell.
Well, that's right there at the tank.
No, I'm just saying there's some sort of bad connections where the sewer is.
Well, they connect
That's why I asked you
to
this.
storm drains.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that there's actually no room for improvement for that?
No, I'm just saying it's been an issue for a long time, that's why the smell. But every time they go in there and work downtown, it's gone away, but it's still a lot of work to do. I'm just saying that's one of the issues downtown has.
Okay.
We're talking about a long time ago, nothing recent, but it's a lot of work.
No, I think it's something that should be addressed, because, we can't have that foul odor.
Oh, no, nobody wants that foul.
And then you got the tap room right there across the street, and you got the people there at the
Yeah.
corner of
Yeah, you smell it in La Posada.
San Agustin Plaza, and it's got that ugly stench.
But that's one of the issues why.
Yeah.
But it has gotten better. It used to be worse.
It used to be worse in a lot of spots from mine.
So every time the utility city go in, those are things that they do take care of. But it's a lot of work.
Thank you, Big Lou.
Thank you, Herb, because you get the corporate knowledge, I guess, of these pieces.
No, I still love Laredo.
The other maybe good news for everyone is we're finalizing the 2026 CIP capital infrastructure projects. We have a big list. I think we probably have the biggest CIP budget in the city of Laredo for next year, for
You should.
26. Massive budget for a lot of
What is the
work.
amount that you'll have, what is the amount?
Don't quote me on the numbers, we're looking at $60 million both on the water and wastewater side. That's not including the other,
Each?
you know, projects.
60 each or 60 for both?
60, 70 million, yeah, all.
All. okay.
Yeah, I mean, we still have our operation, so the way the utility budget is comprised is partly capital, which is the CIP, and operation, basically salaries, you know, whatever you keep running your department, but 70 million is basically your CIP only,
Right.
which is massive for the utility. So we are really trying to boost up our projects. We will probably use most of our bonds from previous years, because they've been moving a little bit slow. So again, this is, that means that a lot of work will be done from the engineering contracting business, but also help us to address key issues. I think we have one elevated tower, or a new one coming soon, a lot of distribution upgrade to the plants, distribution systems, sewer lines, rehabilitation, so stay tuned, we'll see a lot of that coming down the road just to keep up with the changes.
So you asked for 60, but what do you think you'll probably get approved? Because I remember last year when Angie was here, she had the receipts. It's like, hey, this is how much we spent this year. This is how much we're asking, and they're like, that's not enough to prove to get you the money. You know?
So
So how are we gonna handle them different
good.
this time around?
So remember, 26 is still based on the bonds from 24, 22, and 20 and 18. So we're trying to use all those funds to consume them or use them in 26. 27, 28 is a new bond.
Okay.
And I have to go back to the council and I ask for a new bond approval. But initial numbers that shows right now that 27 budget, as you know, our rates are 5% on the water and 6% on the wastewater. So 5% every year. If we go with that only, we can only cover 40% of our CIPs in 27. 40% only, so we can do a lot of things that has to do with regularity issues, pipe bursting, repairs, all of that. So I am planning, hopefully, working with the city manager and finance and all of that, to come back and request hopefully a rate increase, probably in the 7%, roughly, not a lot, 7-8% across the board. So we can, and that takes us honestly to 80% of our needs in 27, 28. So as an advisory committee, I want to make sure you hear this from me today when you reach out to your councilors, is that this is going to be the ask, hopefully, when we get to the budget process for 27, is that we will need to increase our rates to be able to meet our aging infrastructure repairs and CIP.
I guess kind of on that line, at the state level, I believe they had, right, the Water Development Board had opened up a whole bunch of money. So
Correct.
I guess we're also looking at grant opportunities or opportunities to get some of that funding.
Excellent segue. There is $1 billion that has been approved for the Texas Water Board, and we are working right now. Actually, we've submitted already a couple of proposals through the city manager office that should be sent to under this initiative. We actually do qualify under certain areas, but just for the time and just to be aware how that works. Between now and mid-February, I think that's the consultation phase on that $1 billion. And then from March to July is the finalization of that grant from the Texas Water Board, and submission will be during July to August of 26. We are already ready. We have 5 proposals ready for the city, and we will go and pursue those opportunities as we go forward. So we're very vigilant about that. We are also hopefully going to be in Washington in early March to also meet with officials to see how much, if there is any opportunities to support Laredo there with the mayor and the city manager.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And the finally, from my end, Chair, is the USAC, or U.S. Corps of Engineers. We have signed an agreement with them with a $26 million, I think I brought that earlier in a previous meeting, to connect the Alpico with the Jefferson,
Oh,
to
yeah.
make sure that if one goes down, that the city is not, or half of the city is not without water there. So that project has been signed by both parties, the mayor and the commander and the Corps of Engineers. And now we are at the phase where they actually retaining or bidding for an engineering firm to do the design phase. So that's with Corps of Engineer. They are gonna take a lead on that. We are supporting them with the specs, but we are moving forward. So in a month or two, hopefully, we will have an engineering firm on board to start looking at our valve systems, our SCADA systems, our connections. So one day, hopefully, within 2 to 3 years, if something happens, we will have a control room. You turn switches on and off, and then you can see, if there's issues with one plant, the city will continue to receive water across the whole city. I think it's a massive one, but I think it's gonna be taking us in the right direction. That's all from my end. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, I guess opening up to anybody else that has any comments or announcements or things that they want the department to look at?
I guess just on my district, is there any repairs coming in District 8 that you're aware of? And also, are you guys ever gonna have another meeting with all the cities from Eagle Pass to the valley on water conservation? And like, we went to 2 of them last year. We had one here at the end, one in the valley. I just don't know if that communication is still continuing.
I'll answer the second one, again, excuse my ignorance.
No, I'm just saying,
There is an Eagle Pass event happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
So that's, yeah, so we're going to that, so we'll see what we can work on that one, but I'm not aware of any other initiatives on that conservation issue. For the first one, are you referring to pipe bursting or just?
No, just any, yeah.
I will get you the answer, because honestly, I
Okay.
don't know what's distribution guys and engineering up here, but I will get you the answer for that.
I have
Rick, go ahead.
some topics from last year that we had discussed. We were presented a valve replacement plan. Just if there's any updates on how that's going, or
Excellent question again. So we have, I think, urgent 100 valves that has to be replaced. And right now, with everything going on with the brakes and all of that, we do not have capacity from staff point of view to go and change every one of them. So the plan now, the way we did with pipe bursting, we are gonna issue an RFP for asset management project. So we would bring an engineering firm and a contractor, of course, to deal with all those valves once and for all. We're gonna do what we call asset tracking and know where those leak detection issues, and again, in the same token, because that's gonna be an expensive project, we're trying to secure funds from NatBank, from other agencies to see how can they help us with that. But the first step is get the right engineering firm to map where are those valves, how do we track them, leak detection, GIS mapping, and all of that. So that's the first phase, but then we would start looking at replacement. That doesn't mean we're not changing them now, we're doing them based on
need.
and so it's more reactive versus proactive, but we're aware of that, so it is in our actually budget for this year to go out and get someone to do that work.
Remember they were gonna purchase those machines?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was gonna be a replacement, they were gonna use that machine to make sure they're working and stuff like that. I remember that, they were gonna purchase 2.
Right.
Remember we told that machine to?
Yeah. How do we report broken valves?
There is
311?
311, straightforward.
Yeah, because I have 2 at the college
Yeah.
that are going to my backflow preventers, but I can't change them because we can't isolate them.
Yeah, they were gonna purchase 2 machines and they make sure the valves don't lock and they're good.
Oh, okay.
That's what we talked about last year. So that's, they were gonna, they were gonna make sure, because most of the valves
So we
were.
have this.
Is it on our side?
That's
the question I asked my
can do
client.
much now with everything going
Sometimes it's
on.
bad news, you gotta
It's
say
really
right.
not that only,
Yeah,
we wanna
plumbers and
change them
shit,
too,
what are you talking
it's not
about?
just testing, so
Glad to
I
listen
think
to
we
each
know,
other.
good news, we know where those valves are, but we wanna make sure we have an asset management, like, not wait until they break. Every year, we're gonna change 20, 30, based on a plan.
Right.
So I wanna make it more methodical, so you'll also see that proposal coming soon. My first one is priority is 5% getting it out for bidding, and next one is asset management. We're already finalizing that proposal to go out very soon.
Yeah.
Just one more, real quick. And then also from last year, did we ever finalize the water master plan or the wastewater master plan? I know there were drafts that were out.
That's a good question. So we have both of them in the draft phase, as you know.
Right. It's been
We have
draft
been,
for-
we have been reached by different organizations to update them. But as I said, again, my priorities is really deal with you know, urgent issues right now. They're good master plans. I read both, honestly. They're big, massive. I read each one of them. There's a lot of information. They need some updates, but in terms of priorities, we might do this in 27, honestly, just get through this year and for me to understand better what's going on. But we have to have a formal published. But again, remember the master plan is, when they done it, it was up to 230 and beyond, so it's not bad. I think it covers a lot of work, but has never been formalized. And I don't want to formalize it before I actually get it another step through an engineering firm that can review both water and wastewater.
So the firm you guys had not no longer working on that? Who was that, Aurora?
Mhm.
We had two, the wastewater was
LAM.
Aurora.
Have the water.
Okay.
And
They're
Yeah, I mean, they would sit here and talk to us, and like, we understand what they were saying. I told them, like, guys, you're on this level of talking, we're just like, You know, it's-
They're good plans, it's just, we just need to make sure they're up to date. I think that will be probably early for 27, for us just to get through this year. We have information to use from those two master plans.
All right, those are my-
Okay, thank you, Rick. Mr. Yoder?
I'm good, thank you.
Gene, Mr. Blanco. I had just one for me, I noticed it was yesterday because it was going off on our neighborhood WhatsApp, but there was a water break, I think in San Isidro area, that we had some low water pressure
Yeah.
about 2 days ago, so I'm assuming that's all getting
Is that one because of the?
addressed. I think it was related to the project.
Really, you guys got an app in your neighborhood?
No, it's the ring app.
Not an app, the WhatsApp, like the WhatsApp.
The ring app tells you what's going on. in the road.
Most of them are lost pets.
I have to silence the group because it's
Did you get it?
quite chattery.
Was it on the water outage map? Did you see it there?
I didn't look on it, honestly, I just saw the group messages coming in, and of course, we did have low water pressure, I think, Sunday night when I was trying to take a shower, but and then I drove by, I think it was yesterday, and I saw water coming out on the Route 20 job, and I was like, okay, yeah.
So sometimes it's one of those, but again, for everyone, just to be, if you just say Laredo water outage map in Google, there's a map that shows you real time, 24/7.
Yeah.
Real
Put it in
time.
our packet.
Yes.
Oh,
I
it's something
actually
we had,
used-
okay.
I actually used
Awesome.
that,
Very
because
good.
we had a water outage there.
And you can know exactly how long would it
Yeah.
take, which district, what's
Well,
going on.
It was a little vague, but, you
It's
know,
big,
I mean,
well,
it's like.
provide feedback, let us
Okay.
know whether it's.
Can you talk to
It's a step in the right direction.
It's been, I mean, I know what it was.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I would be glad to share this with, my neighborhood group.
Roll my later.
They're all pointing fingers at each other, you know,
Sure,
like, I don't know about it.
when the contractor accidentally breaks your line,
Correct, yeah.
we do not charge them for all the water that was thrown out. You know, like, I'm just saying, I've always brought it before, I mean, for them to be more, more responsible. Yeah, I understand that it just passed by, it's fine, but when they do really, and all that water, I mean, you could calculate how much water with,
Yes.
but there's never a fee against them for doing something like that. When they broke it right in front of, on Lion, the other contractor who shut down that area,
Yes.
That's it. I'm like,
But I want to tell you something which improved the case. Now, we actually charge them for all labor work and parts. So every hour that our crews are in the street, day or night, it's on them. We bill them that and they pay normally. So we have a good, actually, and that's one. And also we've updated our hourly rates for our labor. So when they go there, it's not the 20,
No, it should
it's
be-
25, 26 numbers. So they know they are, and it's normally the normal ones, the telecom ones and the new developers and all of that. So we have seen those, but we haven't gone to the water piece, but I'll get back this
no,
with
but
our.
I'm saying the amount of water that's being thrown
Yeah.
out. Like I pay 10,000 in bacterial testing, stuff like that, and that's just small. But when that water is just leaking, I mean, no one, they don't get charged for all that. I think they should get charged.
And Bacti, by the way, they pay for that too. That's
Yeah, but
all,
that-
yeah, I get it, I mean, but a good point, I will refer that to the guys and see if we can do something about it. Yeah.
Okay. If there's nothing else, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second?
Rick, second by Gene. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much.